Out of the club into the library.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't
Look at
read.
how many I picked out. Isn't that amazing?
Do it.
Oh, this is
My
my
name.
hand.
I'm trying to stay awake, so
Oh, no.
I picked.
Oh,
No, I
yeah.
got it.
Tobacco, alcohol, and drug abuse, and it was such a happy topic I decided to put that picture there. Okay, so the day one is our introductory activity that we're going to do with the KWL, which is one of the strategies that we learned, which is great. Find out what the students know, what the students want to know, and then have the students complete the last portion, what they have learned throughout the entire course of the unit. That way we can evaluate them on keeping up with every day and writing down at least one thing that they've learned every single day throughout the unit, because that'll help them focus on it. And then when they're done, they can look back and they can almost review with that sheet. So yeah, and then these are the little animations, whatever. Binge drinking shows the students a Nightline movie that looks at the dangers of binge drinking. The students will think about what the definition of binge drinking is, because a lot of students don't know. And especially being that young, I think it's more important to let them know, what it is, definitions of it, so that they can recognize it. And I mean, yeah, they're young, they're probably not binge drinking quite yet at, 7th and 8th grade, but maybe their older siblings are. And it's important for them to realize that someone's in danger. And so I want to give them all the tools that they need in order to do that. The students will also write a letter to an imaginary friend that has a drinking problem. And they're going to put in the aspects of why it's so dangerous and why, what they've learned about it, and prevention tactics and things like that. Do you have a question, or you just...
Sorry.
I just figured you were doing that.
Oh.
Okay. And drinking leads to drunk. Talk to students. The third day, drugs and the youth. You talk to the students about the effects of the drugs and the influence the media has on the perceptions of teens. Because it seems to me that the media has played a drastic role in downplaying drugs and alcohol and tobacco, and I think it's ridiculous. And a lot of their role models are going into rehab and getting into drunk driving accidents and things like that. And I think it's important to look at the effects of that, and the how to show them it really is not okay. These people are out of control. They need to be stopped. And I'll get to your question in just 1 minute. It lets the students read an interview, a Larry King interview with Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne, who obviously Ozzy has been addicted to drugs and alcohol and many things throughout his life. But it's actually about their daughter entering rehab. When she was like 16, 17 years old, she entered rehab, and it goes through a whole thing. I wish I could show it to you guys. I wish I would have had it too, but it would have taken too long. But it's almost like they're defending their daughter for having a drinking and drug problem and things like that, and like saying, she's getting help, she's fine. But obviously if there was ever a problem with drinking and drugs and alcohol and things like that, at the age of 16, something has gone wrong. Influence has gone awry, and a lot of it probably has to do with the parents. Go on.
I just noticed that it's almost cool to enter rehab now. Because
yes,
all the
it's become like a
celebrities
thing
are
to
going
do.
to rehab.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's cool to go to rehab. And it's
Yeah.
something that I would never
and-
imagine.
And if you notice,
become a scapegoat.
if you notice in the media, they almost glamorize rehab.
It's
Oh,
like,
she
oh,
went to
it's
rehab,
really-
and they showed this like resort
Oh,
that's
really?
like
Exactly.
palm trees
Yeah.
and
And they're riding
pools
bikes
and
and-
But it's
riding
not the
bikes.
cool thing to only
and I
go
was like-
once now. You gotta go at least
Yeah, you gotta go
Right,
twice.
right.
And like, I looking at some of the things in the media with like,
Right.
like Lindsay Lohan going and her like drug rehab. I was like, get out of here! Like that's better than half the vacations I've ever taken in my entire life. Like,
Her
I've
going
never
to
seen anything
rehab
like it.
fixed her relationship with her dad.
Oh, yeah.
Rehab does wonders.
Yeah,
They can
exactly.
meet Boyfriends.
Yes,
It almost-
exactly. I mean,
Ricky
it's
and Howie.
getting
almost
ridiculous.
offers excuses for their behavior too, where they say,
Yes.
"Oh, well, I had this, but I was in rehab, so it's
Well,
okay,"
And if you notice too, it seems like they're dumbing down their legal
Mhm.
aspects
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, I went to rehab. Oh, well, that makes it all better. You went to a 5-star resort for 3 weeks. You know, you're good now. You know, you don't have to serve that year sentence in jail for having cocaine and crashing into, for instance, Nick Hogan. A lot of people, I don't even think, know this.
It was in
Nick Hogan,
People
Hulk Hogan's son,
Mm-hmm.
has a kid in a coma right now. The kid probably will never wake up out of this coma because he was drinking and driving and racing his Dodge Viper or his Supra or something like that, going like 100 miles an hour. And he crashed into a tree and put this kid in a coma, and he's almost
It
dead.
was in People magazine.
He's just sitting there now. And Nick Hogan hasn't had to serve any jail time yet. He went to rehab.
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't Hulk Hogan with
It's
his father
insane.
relate to?
There's no
The-
pictures
His
of
father,
the
now they're
guys
getting
that,
divorced.
Hulk Hogan's both, they all have
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
Which one either are they?
No.
And they're dead last.
None of them
it's getting really insane. And also, if you look at that instance, Hulk Hogan was just awarded the Father of the Year for 2007.
Yeah.
Now he's getting divorced.
Well, that's the influence that this, you know. Okay, so going to the next slide. The magazine ads. The fourth day, we're going to do magazine ads, and the students were going to pick their favorite magazine, and they're going to count the number of alcohol-related ads in that magazine. There's a ton of them. Believe me, I was looking through all kinds of magazines. I lived with all girls, so I was looking through Castl and things like that. But there are tons of alcohol ads in normal, everyday magazines that teenagers pick up every single day and they read. They're going to discuss how the ads appeal to the younger readers, such as, oh, these people are having a lot of fun. They look really attractive. They're, they're successful people standing around having a business meeting with martinis and things like that. And it's like, oh, I want to be that person. You know, so they're going to do those types of things. And then we're going to examine the peer pressure and the underage drinking that result from these things. And these are just a couple, like, this is like an ad that I picked out about like a cocktail drink. And, like, I mean, come on, I want to be her. You know, I want to have fun like that.
I don't want to be here. I just want to date.
And then like, all right, and then there's like, you know, girls like that that are skinny and beautiful and things like that.
Also, nice when you're skinny. Thank you.
Magazine ads day 2. Students will make their own magazine ads that focus on anti-alcohol ideas. They're going to try to focus on the exact same ideas that the alcohol ads focus on, but they're going to change the words and they're going to change the ideas into anti-alcohol. And they're going to share ideas on how school can advertise the idea of not drinking. And then actually, if you guys want to should I have them do the ad now, or do you want to? This is my the activity that we've chosen to do. And we wanted you guys to take your colored pencils and kind of make an anti-alcohol ad, trying to focus on the exact same things that you think alcohol ads focus on. We'll think about it.
Anti-alcohol.
But more focusing on the same types of things.
Yeah, so like if alcohol ads focus on people having fun and they glamorize it. So if you're gonna do it, if you have people drinking alcohol, you want them to be having a horrible time or things like that. But if you have them with alcohol, you want them to be sad or and show those same effects, but in realistic. And typically when we were doing this in the classroom, we would have magazines and things that the kids could cut out ads or use pieces of the ads and then change the words or things like that. Like I've done it before in one of my classes, and I cut out an ad and then I put like a bubble out of the girl's mouth that was saying, "I'm having the worst time of my life. I wish I could, leave," or something like that, which is. And while doing this, the students will not be judged on artistic ability.
Right.
That's great that you
They
have
will
that
be-
disclaimer there.
Yeah. They will be judged on creativity and resourcefulness. Now, if I were to be grading this, I would definitely be looking at the types of things that they tried to focus on, and to know that they actually have an idea of what the magazine ads are trying to focus on and trying to appeal.
There we go. No beer, yes,
No,
no.
that's insane.
Time's better. No beer, yes,
Okay.
But you can't hug anyone.
If anybody wants to share theirs, they can share. I like Dylan. I definitely want you to share yours. Hold it up and share with.
No beer, yes hugs.
That's a good one. Amy.
So you think you look cool? How about now?
Nathan.
Drinker saying I'm a dumbass, and everybody around him saying he's a dumbass.
Oh, Nathan.
Mine is cool graduating because I really am, but my biggest pet peeve is girls who drink and cry at the bar. I think that looks so bad.
I did not
It
cry.
does.
No, I don't. But I'm
Was
always
there
like,
some
go
of those
home.
last
Like, you don't
night?
need to be.
Exactly.
There's some messy
Or
ones.
take her home.
I
Or
borrowed
take her
mine.
home.
Yes.
So what kind of yours?
I borrowed this idea, but it's some things don't mix, and it's keys. I'll come mixer in a
See?
martini
Yeah.
glass.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Yes.
Drinking and drugs help make people duds. And I have a person and she has a smile, but she's got a change cup because she needs money because she can't get a job because she doesn't have appropriate clothing. So she spends all her money on drinking.
There you go. There
Good
you go.
story. Good story.
Anybody else?
And alliteration with drinking the D.
All right. That's I think. Oh. Yeah, that's yours.
That's fine. Okay, so now we're on to the second week, first day. I got a couple ideas from watching Mythbusters. So watching TV is sometimes good, and so
You didn't let me share my picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Let's share yours.
Guys, struggling here.
She's got something going.
I'm sure
It looks like a table with something on it. Oh, a car. That's a car. And a crowbar. What'd you say?
Corkscrew.
A corkscrew. And someone's not smiling.
So what does it represent?
Drinking, driving,
You're a
and keep
screwy
adult smile.
person if you drink that.
okay,
On to week 2.
on to week 2, day 1. I've got several ideas from watching Mythbusters. So watching TV is good, depending on what you watch. We were going to set up a course out in the parking lot with the traffic cones and get a golf cart and have the students drive the lap, see how fast they can go without hitting any cones. And then we'd let them drive the lap again, and only this time do it with the beer goggles on, like Ingrid was talking about the other day. And see how many cones they hit and if it took them slower, longer, or what on that. And then I would want the students to write a reflection. Okay, and then the other one would be trying to beat the breathalyzer test. I saw this on Mythbusters, and we'd kind of redo their experiment where we'd have a couple of adults or parents come in. They would have a couple drinks till they got to the legal limit. We'd try different things to see to beat it. On the show, they couldn't beat it, so therefore we wouldn't be able to beat it here as well. So the students will realize that a person could not beat the test. We'd also have to find rides for the parents to go home to set a good example as well. And then the students would also write a reflection.
Wait, do what?
Like having parents get drunk in front of them?
It's to say, hey, if you do this, there's no way of getting out of it when you get caught, type deal.
Would they
So-
be drinking before they come to school? Kind of thing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Start over.
Okay.
Start over. What are you doing?
Okay, we are gonna have parents drink to till they barely get over the legal limit. And then we're gonna try to come up with different ways to beat the breathalyzer test, like chewing gum, or I've heard pennies in the mouth, like mouthwash, that sort of thing. You cannot beat the breathalyzer test. They've proven that. So it's kind of to say, hey, if you get caught with this, there's no way out of it. They're going to know that you're drunk. So that sort of thing. And then I want them to write a reflection on this. Okay, the next day we're going to be showing a movie about drugs that are commonly seen in different clubs and the effects they play. Students will have a worksheet to complete while watching the movie. I kind of found this picture here and I thought this was kind of cool. Out of the clubs and into the libraries, which the rec center is used more often than the actual library here on campus. I kind of thought that was kind of neat. For week 2, day 4, I would bring in a drug task force officer, a person who works at a rehab center, and then a former drug addict. And we just do like a question answer session. They can tell like who they are, what they do, what their problem was, and just have the students be able to talk to them and meet with them. And then I was wanting, students to write like a reflection about the one person or what they learned that day.
Yeah.
And this is a picture of a guy with a drug dog checking the lockers. And then the last day, we were going to have the students make a poster about the different things they learned over the week, and it would be basically staying drug-free poster. And these are some of our resources.
All right. Miss, is that